On this episode, it's very hard to stop an inspired person. Hey everyone, this is the Quarter Show again, and the thing I want to talk about today was this idea about inspired people. And you know, I said to my team a lot, and I'm writing a blog on it, which I'll post, and I'll probably have the video attached to the blog. But you know, it's incredibly difficult to stop an inspired person. It's incredibly difficult to stop an inspired person, and I found that inspiration is the fuel that has driven me, you know, to do things, to take more action, to do things faster, to accomplish things that you wouldn't normally be able to accomplish per se, or things would stop you or whatever. And I get saddened sometimes when I see people trip over themselves and they let barriers or invalidation or negative people or negative things stop them. And you know, I think the secret is really that they just need inspiration. And your mission then is to figure out how to stay inspired, because inspired people, it's like the obstacles and the rocky terrain and the negativity or the challenges or the barriers that they hit up against, they seem to just deflect off them. And if they're sticking to you and you're getting beat up by it and you're getting down in the mud on it, it's like, I would challenge you to get inspired. Find inspiration and keep yourself inspired. You have to find those things that inspire you. What are the things that inspire you? And take a little time out of your day, perhaps. Maybe watch a video, maybe read a little quote, read a little thing. Write down what you're trying to do. Write down your goals, your vision. What is the mountain? What is the thing that you're trying to get done? Take some time to really look at, like, what am I trying to do? And then maybe a video, maybe an article, maybe a part of a book. It's different for everybody, I think. But whatever fuels your jet, whatever keeps you inspired, keep that close in mind, because inspiration will take you further and faster than almost anything else. It's incredible. It's very difficult to stop an inspired person. And the thing, you know, for me personally, it's interesting. I have different things that inspire me, and I get inspired easily, and if I ever get beat up in Richter and what we're doing, I write down my vision, I write down what I'm trying to do, I find little things that inspire me, and those things seem to propel me further and faster. And when I'm inspired, I know that I can't be stopped, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. And that is a powerful thing in business.
Inspiration can be real subtle. It can be really small things, and if you don't pay attention to that, then you're going to miss how you could be inspired. Because sometimes big goals really inspire me, and sometimes very small games, really small things, even little knickknacks can inspire me. There are certain little knickknacks and whatnot that inspire me, that get me going, and sometimes I haven't noticed until after the fact. One thing that can inspire a salesperson is when you really understand your prospect's need, and you really understand what they're trying to get done, and you yourself go, oh my goodness, that's it, you are signing up, no questions, no more talk, it's happening, and you just go, when you push that through, and you're like on fire about it, and you go, sign off on this proposal, here's what's going to happen next, you know, here's some more confidence material, look, you have made the right decision, end of story. Or you can get so inspired, you know, help can be one of them. But like even small little knickknacks, we have another great salesperson here at Richter, and when Robert puts a game down, it doesn't matter the size of the game. It doesn't matter what we're doing. If there's a game in play, this guy is like, I'm in it to win the game. And it's not about the money for him. I mean, he does very well, but it's not about that for him. It's about winning.
And inspiration, it's different for everybody, right? But inspiration is the thing before attaining that goal. And I would challenge you to stay inspired, whether you're in sales, you're an entrepreneur, or you're in management or whatever. If you lack inspiration and you deflate and you lose inspiration, you're going to lose momentum. And you need to stay inspired, because you can conquer so many things when you're in that inspired state. You end up overshooting, you end up doing more work and everything like that. And it's funny because it's like people, you can get hit with negativity and problems and barriers and whatever, and it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. You just conquer, win, 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 win. And for me, it's always when I'm in an inspired state. And if I feel like I'm not moving fast enough, I'm not getting enough done, I'm not getting maybe a deal done, or I'm not, accomplishing what I want to accomplish, for me, I need to get inspired. I need to stay inspired. I need to get back to an inspired state.
And you're gonna find stuff like here's the thing: is the truth is with prospects that I work with, the same thing can inspire me for 100 different prospects. Yeah. The same thing, the desire to help, but only if I if I pay attention to that. If I start paying attention to the mechanics and the budgets and the approval lines and all the different things, if I get mired into that, then I'm not going to get into that state. If I don't, it's not that you flat out ignore everything else, but it is a total mind state. It's a duplicatable mind state. You can get yourself there again and again and again. But if you sit back and wait for it to happen, it'll happen once every 4 weeks and 2 months and stuff like that.
It's created. This is an important point. This is an important point because you don't wait for inspiration to happen. You cause it to happen. Right? You find those things, you look for those things, you create inspiration in every day that you're doing, you create the inspiration so you can have that perpetual motion, that you're doing, and and that's how you can get an enormous amount done. And when you're in that inspired state, it's like you just rattle through actions, just boom, 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 and a lot of things get done, and the things that do get done are typically great. You closing a deal, or the effort becomes easier. The things that you do, the work that you're doing, even if you're in creative, the work that you're doing is better. It's not fun to be around uninspired people. It's like, that's not the kind of people you want to hang out with, and you want to keep yourself inspired. Don't wait for inspiration to strike. Figure out the things that inspire you. Sometimes for me, I'll tell you what, when we get hit with a lot of things that are going on here, for me, it's grabbing, I have a journal. I take my pen, I have this pen all the time. I love these pens, these Mont Blanc pens.
Oh, it's Mont Blanc. Oh, that's great.
Highly recommend them.
Beautiful. A little plug.
I want to get a plug there.
Hashtag Mont Blanc.
I do love these pens. But I write in my journal, and I just write, like, what are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? And I kind of paint the picture for the vision of where we're going. And just by doing that alone, I can barely get through the writing. I can barely get through it. By the time I'm through, by the time I'm towards the dead, like I'm like throwing my pen out. I got to get to work. I got other things that are happening, and I go into this sort of extra horsepower inspired state. And I tell you, I always say it, I think about it a lot and I write it down, and I always think, it's very hard to stop an inspired person. But like Ben said, he brings up a great point. Don't wait for inspiration to strike, right? You have to find those things in your environment, find those things in your life that inspire you, that will take you further. And sometimes it's reading this book right here. Sometimes read any book. Maybe there's something that inspires you, and positively kickstarting yourself and stay inspired, because you can see a worker. Sometimes you walk around the office, or you see somebody and they're uninspired, and there's nothing happening. There's nothing happening. The motion is so low. There's very little happening. There's very little, and you know what? Magically, uninspired people, the deals just get stuck.
Yeah.
Like even from a sales standpoint, right? An uninspired salesperson.
Yeah.
The deals just get stuck. And when you talk to them, and I've trained a lot of salespeople, and I manage salespeople and coach them and different things like that, and it's like problem after problem after problem, like maze after maze after maze.
Yeah.
Right? And it's kind of like, oh, well, and you go through like 5 deals, 10 deals that they're going over. You ask them about the deals, and it's like, oh, well, this happened. Oh, well, that happened. Barrier, problem, barrier, stop, barrier, right? But inspired people, they seem to just topple over everything that comes up, and it's like closed. It just and the inspiration comes across on the phone. It's like it exudes out of them and comes across on the phone. It's like kind of contagious.
Yeah.
It's contagious, and the prospect picks it up. And again, I think we talk about this a lot in other episodes, but this isn't artificial. This is not a fake thing. It's what do you need to be inspired, and how do you causatively create that inspiration for yourself every single day to keep yourself in that inspired mode? and keep yourself there. And if you find yourself falling back from it or losing motivation, losing inspiration, I think is the key word. Yeah, motivate. By the way, I think the precursor to motivation is inspiration. I think inspiration sort of fuels motivation, if you will, and because inspiration drives motion, action, which sort of is where all motivation comes from. And I think it's important to challenge yourself and keep yourself inspired and write down those different things that inspire you, and keep those close at hand. And if you fall away from being inspired, then bring that back in and get yourself back in that state, so you can really just sort of have that momentum about you and that forward motion about you, about everything you do. And I think you'll find that makes all the difference.
Yeah, and I think if you write down money on the list, I think you probably need to relook at it. I think that's probably not a real motivation. That's not going to work. No, it's not a real workable one. No. It's something that we all like to have. It's something that, it's a great thing.
It's a sub-product. Yeah. It's connected to things. There's nothing wrong with money. Look, I
love money.
Look, you got to have it.
I want more.
You got to have it. You need a lot of it, right?
But if you write down money, it's your own goals. Like from a C-level point of view, it's usually growth, expansion, dynamic, like pushing out your company and becoming more prevalent and more useful to more people. And of course, it's connected to revenue, it's connected to money, literally. If you're a salesperson, you have your games, you have the things you win at, and but in your workplace, when you're working with clients, when you're working with real people, money is not going to be the thing that gets you to get it done.
No, and
when you get home and you check your bank account, do a little dance, have some fun,
sure.
Enjoy it, live it.
Nothing wrong with money.
But that's not the thing I don't think.
No, inspiration and motivation I think are different too, and it's very different for a lot of people. Like for me, certain first of all, the vision of the company, I get very inspired by that. I get inspired sometimes by just aesthetics. Certain design and aesthetics, certain things like start getting my gears turning where I want to increase our product or our design or products that we're doing. I get highly inspired, and when I go into that state, even though it's not directly related to, let's say, something we're doing, I mean, it is, but it might be stuff like that. And I guess the thing I want to communicate is like it could be different. I mean, they're not necessarily the same. It could be a lot of different things. There's a lot of interesting things when I think about what inspires me. There's a lot of interesting things that inspire me. Sometimes it's design, it's a marketing or creative thing that I see, or branding thing, or ad related thing, or something related to the vision of the company, or when I look at a mission of a goal or something we're trying to attain, or sometimes just writing down a few things and you get inspired, and it really depends. I mean, everybody's different. I'm not gonna try and come up with what's inspiration for you, and I don't think there's anything universal. I think everybody's different. I mean, like it might be your children, for God's sakes. It might for me, it might be something like that. You think about that. You think about something related to it, and it has inspiration connected, and I don't think there's a rationale to it.
No, I mean there was a stretch of time. Robert knows a lot about business and companies and things, and he really loves certain companies. Like there's a lot of companies that he really, really loves. And there was a stretch where, and this is a positive thing, where he was like, I want certain logos. Like I want them for my website.
For sure.
I want to have their business, and so he communicated this to salespeople and talk about an inspired individual. And it wasn't to own them in any fashion. It was because it was representative of Richter's success, and he wants to represent that we're successful, and it's true. So the salespeople go,
the kind of clients logos and clients that
reflects our work,
reflect Richter.
Yeah, that reflect like how good we are, right? Because we want to serve them, right?
Yeah.
So the salespeople, like there was a chunk of about 6 months, a year, where we were like, where we became inspired because of that. See, it doesn't matter what it is, where we're like, oh, cool, I'm going to do whatever it takes to properly handle and service this multi-billion-dollar company, to bring them aboard properly and help them and make them become a Richter client.
It wasn't money. No. It wasn't deals. It was that these are the companies. These are the logos that align with Richter that we want as clients. And look,
right.
It wasn't everybody who has a checkbook.
No.
It was like this company, this company, this company, this company. These companies belong in the Richter universe, right?
And it came at a time. I don't. You can correct it. It doesn't really matter. But I feel it came at a time when Robert was like, all vision was aligned, and this is the quality of Richter. And with everything lined up, and it's like, here's what we're bringing to the table. And it was just this sort of like, this is Richter's amazing and powerful, and so we want everything to reflect who we are.
Including our client.
Including our
client base.
Yeah.
I still feel that way. Yeah, and the clients we turn a lot of clients away. You know, and there's,
we did the other day. We won't mention any names, but
yeah, we
oh my
won't mention
God.
names, but there's clients that don't fit.
No.
You know, and if, quite frankly, if you are a client, you're a client for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, and we're proud of our clients, you know, and that is something that inspires us.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, keep yourself inspired and think with that. Think about what does inspire you and just answer that question. Write that down. What inspires me? And then list out those different things. And then within every single day, at some point in your day, you know, get yourself inspired. If you're uninspired in any capacity, get yourself inspired. It's so powerful. Inspired people cannot be stopped. Okay? We have more coming at you soon. Follow us on Twitter at The Quarter Show. Hashtag The Quarter if you like it. Feel free to ask questions on YouTube, obviously, and go to the comment thing, ask questions there. You can slam the like button. We definitely appreciate that. We really do. We've been getting some cool views, getting some comments. We're getting likes, which is great. The views going up. So we're going to have more coming at you. We have a lot of topics to cover, and we definitely appreciate you watching. Okay, thanks.
Amy, I am super, super inspired. If you've watched this video, I am super inspired. Like, I'm just out of my head inspired to have you as a client. Suburban Seats, Amy, I'm jacked. Let's do this.
Come on aboard.
I only circle people on my lineup who I am inspired about, and you and your company, I've looked through your website. I love it. Let's do this. Come on, girl, let's go.